Okay, we're just gonna jump straight into it. Short version of the story is, a couple weeks ago, Smash Legends announced that they weren't going to be adding content updates to the game anymore, and it's like basically they were just gonna fix some bugs here and there, but there was no new content. And everyone knows for a fact that that is the death rattle of the game, basically. And I didn't say anything on this channel about that for a while because I wanted to see how quickly that would kill the game first before I, said anything. But I think, after a couple weeks of nothingness, I'm kind of just gonna say what's on my mind anyway so that I can stop thinking about it. And yeah. So this might be a little bit weird to some of you guys because you know that if you subscribe to my channel for Smash Legends, or if you just met me through Smash Legends or whatever, then you will know that I was like Smash Legends' biggest believer. I was like, no matter what, I will be there for you, and I believe you can do it. I believe you can do good. But I was wrong. And there were videos that I made where I talked about how, I was like disappointed, and I was like, this is what you do to fix this. And this is because if you don't, then otherwise this will happen. And that's what happened. And so now we're here. And it's like I told you so, except I don't even think I was hurt in the first place, so it doesn't really matter. But I just, it's just ironic. I got into Smash Legends to cope with loss, and now we're losing it after, let's see. I first played Smash Legends in 2022. This screenshot that you see here, this is from, I think it was like July 12th of 2022, July 19th, 2022. This is when this screenshot was from. It's from a video that I uploaded around the time I first started playing Smash Legends. I was originally going to use a screenshot from like when I first started playing it, but all the tutorials and stuff was all over there. So I was like, let me show like what actual normal gameplay, like actual normal menu screen looked like. It used to look like this. It used to look like this. Look at this. This is just good. This is good. The way this was, there were two currencies. Remember when there were two fucking currencies in Smash Legends? And that was it? And gems were actually worth something? You remember that? God. Now they have, like, currencies that do nothing but get you more currencies for, like, do nothing but get you, like, maybe cosmetics for gambling and shit. And then they have, like, all these different abilities and stuff that you can add to the legend. There used to be just two. Look at this. There used to be just two, and that was just the abilities that you would get as you gradually unlocked their mastery. And now they have all these different other things that, like, I don't even know. And let me just, like, get into this. This screenshot is what I think of when I think of positive memories of Smash Legends. I think of this layout, I think of this number of buttons, I think of how like this was basically when it was really good for me when I just started. It's probably nostalgia or whatever, uh red glasses, whatever. But like I mean, like, the only thing that's, like, missing from here is the clan thing. I think the clan thing was a cool idea. But, like, this is basically all I wanted from the game. Was just this. I just wanted... What I liked about Smash Legends was it was different. You know? Like, it had no competition in terms of being itself. It had competition in being a mobile game where it was like a brawler or whatever this genre is called. But a beat 'em up, I don't know. But like it was itself. It had its own identity. And you could discern it from other things very easily. And now it's like trying to be more like its opponents, and that's where it lost a lot of people, myself included. Because, like I said, the reason I loved it was because it was different and it was its own thing and it was more respectful of its players, honestly. Like, it just did better overall, in my opinion. It wasn't a game that was dying, that's for fucking sure. But it's not just the game's fault as to why I uninstalled it a couple weeks ago. The other reason is because of me and my playstyle personally. Because the problem with me and multiplayer games is that for me, it's not sustainable. And the reason I say that is because if you've been on my channel longer, if you've known me for even longer, or if you just go back and look through my old videos, you will notice there's a lot of Overwatch videos. And I played Overwatch a lot. I played it with my dad and my friends Graham and Xander. The four of us all played Overwatch together. Um, but then, like, as time went on, Overwatch 2 was becoming a thing and all that, and we stopped playing it. We kind of went on to play our own games that we prefer. My dad stayed playing Overwatch 2, but I went on to Smash Legends, Xander went on to Deadlock, and Graham went on to Marvel Rivals. Though Graham stuck around with Overwatch a little longer, and the reason why is because he was on the esports team of the university that we went to. And that was, I want to say that was like 2 or 3 years ago, that I actually got to play with them on Overwatch. And it had been a while since I played Overwatch, but, I just played Junkrat and Lucio mainly. And then I was doing fine. But while I was playing, I noticed that, like, there was a whole lot of new stuff, and I had no idea what was going on half the time. I didn't know what this new map stuff was. I didn't know what, all these new sound cues meant. I didn't know how to react to certain things. I didn't know the layouts of these new maps. I didn't know, like, the changes to characters that I had, like, muscle memory of playing. Like, they changed their abilities. They changed all the stuff. And it got to a point where, like, I knew that if I wasn't playing with people that I knew, kind of, sort of, or I knew I could trust had good skill when it came to the game and could actually make the game playable, that I would be having a really difficult time. I tried to play it by myself, a few days later, and I was not having a good time because I didn't have anybody to guide me. I was thrown in a match based on, like, personal ability with the whole matchmaking thing, and I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't having fun. And the problem with multiplayer games like that is, for me, is that you can't really take a break from them without risking forgetting a lot of stuff, or not forgetting, but, like, everything changing on you. And then once it gets to a point where you haven't been back in so long, you can't just sit down to play it real quick in a life where you're super busy or whatever, because you're spending all that time relearning everything, and that can be fun, but most of the time it's just going to be frustrating. And that's how it felt to play Smash Legends even on a fucking regular, because they were constantly updating and changing shit that didn't need to be changed, that didn't need to be fixed. They were adding everything. They were adding all these new fucking abilities that nobody understood, nobody knew how they worked, and they were kind of bullshit half the time. These new buttons where you had to push all these stupid fucking things, it was ridiculous. They were trying to add versatility to the gameplay or whatever, and new stuff, but it just made shit more confusing. Most of the time when you're on a mobile game, you're on a tiny fucking screen. I have played Smash Legends on mobile when I'm on the bus heading over to the city for a class and university. But, like, I was, like, playing it and I was like, I'm okay at this, but, like, this kind of sucks. How is anybody supposed to keep track of all this shit on a phone? And I'm not a mobile gamer all that well. That's why I started playing it on PC again. And even then, it was just kind of just like, what the fuck, man? Like, that was just my personal opinion, but, like, they were always changing shit, and they were changing how loot boxes worked, and or whatever, they were changing the value of their currencies. They made gems completely fucking worthless, and that pissed me off. They changed the way that characters are obtained in Smash Passes. They changed the cosmetics that you would get for it. I bought a Smash Pass. I think it was for Hamlin, and because I liked Hamlin, I thought that was a creative, cool fucking idea. I thought that was a great character. And then I found out that you didn't actually get the emojis for it. You just got a bunch of gambling currency for, like, 10, fucking $5-10. How much was it? It was fucking bullshit. I was like, oh, they're just gonna give me the emojis like they did last time. No, that's not what they're doing. And it just pissed me off. I'm just like, you can't just do that. You just made it, like, even more worthless without even actually changing the price. Like, nobody fucking cares about this shit. Like, I said I wasn't gonna get mad while recording this, but I'm so disappointed. I'm just really disappointed. And, you know, it's what the reason I'm mad is because I loved this game and I loved the characters. I loved the characters and the story and the world that they were setting up. I loved it. It was great. And then they just it's like they started adding more characters and stuff and not just working with the characters that they already had. There was a slew of them, and then, they didn't really develop much beyond that, and now they're saying no new content updates, and it's like, the one good thing out of that is that you're not adding new fucking characters. Like, like new playable characters, I guess. I can name, like, 5 fucking people who wanted Little John. That's just people that I knew. But, like, it's because we wanted past characters that we already know and love to develop more. But no, we have to add these fucking new characters that you can't really connect with because they're all kind of like the fucking same. I guess. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like I'm a little bit out of touch with it, but at the same time, this is just the impression that I get. There has been nothing that they have been doing that has said to me, oh, maybe I should go back and play it. There has been nothing that they did. None of it made me want to go back. And I just kind of looked at it and was just like, oh, you're just doing this shit again. Okay, I don't care. Nothing made me want to come back. The only thing that made me want to come back at all is the characters that I already know about, and the characters that they have been developing. They haven't translated the fucking, like, a lot of different stuff. They haven't fucking bothered to do all the stuff that they, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that's basically the gist of what I'm saying. That's really it. It's just, and then on top of that, like, the other thing about the whole, knowing that this game is gonna die is they were announcing, like, a bunch of other different games that the studio was making. Like, what's that one with the swords and shit? That's a new thing. I saw that and I was just like, I saw, like, the character, I forget what color her hair was, but I looked at that character and I was like, isn't that Beta Peter? Isn't that just Beta Peter? Like, I swear to God, that character design looked familiar. I haven't been able to find the pictures again after a while, but, like, it's all still there. It's all fucking still there. But, like, yeah. So, I'm disappointed. And if you followed me for Smash Legends on here, and you don't want anything else, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you should unsubscribe. You can go. It's okay. But if you want to stick around, you can stick around. I don't know. I want to release some more Smash Legends tribute tracks because I have a couple that are basically finished. They just need some polishing. But, like, I haven't been able to muster up the strength to do that because I'm not excited about it anymore. And, let's talk about me for a bit. Just because, let's talk about my personal connection to this and what really made me go away from this. I know that with, my different special interests, my phases change and stuff, but there have been, with hero shooters and brawlers and multiplayer games in general, I haven't been able to stick around with them, like I said, because they weren't sustainable for me personally. And that is what I figured out after I started playing old Flash games on Newgrounds. 'Cause the thing about those is that whenever I come back to them, I can just sit down and play them whenever I want. And they're not gonna change because they're 20 fucking years old. Like, let's talk about Fancy Pants Adventures. This stuff has been sitting here for ages. I can just sit down and play it. It's all new and exciting to me, and it's getting updates as the classic pack, as Super Fancy Pants Adventures, as the sequel to that coming out eventually, and as what they just announced was Fancy Pants Adventures Online. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, that's a multiplayer game, isn't it? So that's not sustainable. Let me correct you. The single player games still fucking exist. The single player games still exist. you can still play a single player version of this game that still exists offline. Even you can go and download these things. You can get them on Steam or whatever. You can do all kinds of things. You can just get them. You don't have to play multiplayer. I said online, and I know that was technically not correct. You do need internet access to play them, but I meant non-multiplayer. I guess that's what I meant. You know, they still exist. And Smash Legends doesn't have that. They uploaded a fucking fake, like, I think it was a Genshin Impact, like, I don't know much about Genshin Impact, but I think that's what it was, based on what I've heard and seen. A fake, it, it was a fake trailer for a single player version of Smash Legends, and that was an April Fool's joke. Just like, okay, but that's genuinely what would be something great for the story you're trying to tell and for all of this other stuff. This is the old team before it got sold off. This is something that happened before that. It was unironically something that would have been fantastic for the game, and it's never gonna happen unless they're maybe like, oh, we could do this with the IP and just throw it to you, sell it, fuck it, whatever. But like, I just it's it pisses me off. It's just like, oh, you're joking, but that actually would have been really good. And people have been saying this for years. This was years ago. And, you know, now we're here with the game dying. Oh, look who's laughing fucking now. Look who's fucking laughing now. I know it's April Fool's Day tomorrow and I'm gonna upload this video, but, like, whatever. Yeah, this is not an April Fool's joke. I did quit. I did uninstall a while ago. And, you know, I'm just like, it's so ironic. It's so ironic. And so I guess that's really it. Just like, you know, I've decided that single player games are better and more sustainable, and this was fun while it lasted, but like once it started to devolve, it started to devolve, you know. I think I had been saying like a new map would have been good for stuff because, you know, they did that. Okay, actually, you know what? I have another thing to talk about. They did this thing, and I talked about this before, where, you know, they have been going on and off about what game modes were available and when, and, like, they made us that they removed Team Touchdown for a while, they removed Magic Fortune Cookie, they removed Battle Royale for a while, and they removed all this other stuff, and like I said, I think the reason they did that is because they wanted to minimize the encountering of bots without actually wanting to fix the bot problem. But the problem is that they kept encountering bots because people weren't playing, so they were trying to make it so that more people would play. But guess what? The reason that people weren't playing your fucking game is because you weren't offering any new place to play in. If you had new maps coming out as regularly as you did characters, or perhaps even alternating between adding a new character and adding a new map, then maybe people would have been playing your fucking game. But no, you decided to overwhelm them with shit instead that they didn't know and understand because, you know, they had to learn this new character, and you were doing the thing that every fucking hero shooter does, where every time they release a new character, they come out busted as fuck and super overpowered so that you can sell them through the Smash Pass, and then once that Smash Pass is over, then you fucking make it so that, oh yeah, we're dialing back, we're nerfing them, okay, and then you do it again and again and again, and people don't think that's fun. Okay? The reason that we don't play this game is because it's not fucking fun to have to struggle to go through all of this. It's not balanced, and when you're forcing it to make money, you're just ooh, I almost said a really bad word. You're just being manipulative, and it sucks. And it sucks. It's like, you know, if you're not it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You can't, if your only way of making money is through manipulation, then it's kind of bad for you. You know, it's a bad sign, and now we're here, so what did I fucking say? I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Jeez. Fuck. Trying to think if there's anything else I have to say before I stop recording. Jeez, I don't know. I'm still gonna be like checking on stuff in the fandom. I'm in a few servers. I'm not in the main server anymore because fuck that place. I'm in some smaller servers. You may have seen me around. you can come up to me and talk to me, okay? It's okay. If you want to talk about Smash Legends, I'll gladly talk about Smash Legends with you. It's still a special interest. It's why I'm so passionate about this, you know? It's just the game itself I have moved on from, but the characters and the lore and everything, I'm still like, oh, yeah, let's talk about that. You know, we could talk about, like, some parts of the gameplay that we miss. You know, I have a Discord server. It's in the description if you want to literally just friend me on there because you used to play Smash Legends with me and then leave the server, be my guest. If you want to stick around, that's up to you as well. Again, same with subscribers. If you subscribe to me solely for Smash Legends content and then I stop doing that and you want to unsubscribe, this is your sign. This is your sign that I'm not going to be doing it anymore. If you want if you want to know when the next Smash Legends tribute track is coming out, come back in a few years. I don't fucking know. I've been dedicating a lot of time to the Flash stuff. I've been dedicating a lot of time to Fancy Pants Adventures Newgrounds. I've been dedicating a lot of time to the Toxic Cesspit as well. I know it doesn't seem like that, but I have. I'm still working on my own animations. I'm working on OCs and stuff, and you know, I've been playing games, just not these ones, and you know, it's just that's what I've been doing. And you know, you're all welcome to do whatever you please. And thank you for sticking with me at all. Honest to God. Like, thank you for watching my stupid videos that I make. Thank you for, you know, being there to play Smash Legends with me. Thank you for making this a good memory. Thank you for doing that. You know, it's not a perfect memory. I've run into some assholes here and there, but like, you know, some of it was just a life learning or a learning lesson or whatever. A learning lesson. Jesus. Some of them are just lessons in life lessons. There we go. Good Lord. I'm all frazzled. And some of those, you know, I mean, I forgive, whatever. It's like one of those things where it's oof, this fucking game. These fucking people running this fucking game. I tried to be patient. I really did. You know, I was like I said, if you knew me, I was the person who was always there being like, "Oh, you know, let's be patient with them. Let's give them time to understand what they're doing." You know, or like let's get them time to figure things out. We know that they have to make money in order for it to survive. I want this game to survive. We had some shutdown scares like years ago. We had a lot of end of service scares, you know, all this other stuff. But it's now happening. I did happen to stumble across a Reddit post that was talking about, you know, archiving content from the game. Um, I I did a little bit back in the day. I saved all of the English, just the English, unfortunately, English voice lines for Legends up until like, oh god, it was all from the fan kit. They never replaced the voice lines thing. They still had the MC placeholder there. um I managed to save a lot of the English voice lines for the characters. I made a post about it on that Reddit post under the thread thing, whatever. I don't really use Reddit. It was just something I found. So if you're responding to me on there and I'm not and I'm not getting back to you, I'm sorry. I don't really check it, but I use it. I mainly use Reddit for stuff like that, where it's just like one thing or two, usually Reaper tutorials and shit like that. But basically that's just me telling you where the Google Drive link is. If you want it as well down here, you can also just leave a comment and I'll reply to you with it. I don't know how much interest there is in there, but like, it's most of the English voice lines, not all of them, of course, because at one point the NC came along and they just didn't ever add the newer characters. I think it's up until Ali. It's like Ali or some other character that released around his time. But yeah, so that's that. And they also noticed, like, I remember back, speaking of Ali, that around his release, people started to notice, like, a new voice direction issue. Like, the voice actors had this specific tone that they used. And at first, I, like, when it was Ali, I was like, maybe they're just trying to make him sound cocky. But then it was, like, a thing throughout, like, a bunch of other characters that released after him. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So, new voice director, I imagine, or whatever. I don't know. But, like, changes we don't like, changes that aren't good, changes that are, you know, were there a few good changes here and there? I don't remember. I guess the clans. The clans are pretty cool, but yeah. Okay, it's been like almost half an hour. I think I'm done. Like the last time I made a Smash Legends, I guess, rant video, it lasted like an hour, and I have a lot of talking to do today, and so I'm gonna get back to it. I'm busy now. Can you believe it? I'm making money, doing commissions and shit for music and art, and I'm doing my own stuff now that I have to focus on instead of ranting about video games that I don't play anymore. So yeah, thank you for listening to me rant. Thank you for sticking around, however long you did, or if you continue to stick around. Either way, thank you, and I hope you all have a nice day and a nice rest of your year. Yeah. Okay. Rest in peace, Smash Legends. A little early. You were a real one. I'll be sticking around with your story and your characters, but that's it. Maybe when you officially announce end of service, I will actually like maybe install it real quick just to say goodbye. Like like I'm sure a lot of other people will be. All right, that's it. If the microphone sucked throughout this video, I'm sorry. I'm recording on OBS and I'm still figuring shit out. Yeah, all right. Bye-bye now.